All right. Good morning, everybody. I guess I get thrown to the fire here first thing this morning. I'm Nick Reigler. I'm a grain trader with Michigan Ag Commodities out of Lansing. We've got some other traders here with us today as well. But give you a little bit of a market overview for what we're seeing here in Michigan for 2017. Last year, I mean, we're coming off of a beautiful crop from 2016. A few guys still holding some of that wheat there in the bin yet with the lower vomitoxin, higher quality, but we'll get started here. So understanding Michigan's wheat crop, we're going to touch base here on kind of Michigan's production, what are the production and price trends here in Michigan, and how they impact the both red and white that is grown here in the state. And then how the industry combats these challenges that seem to be on a year in and year out basis. So Michigan uses about 40 million bushels annually through our mills. 80% of what the state grows is used here in Michigan or northern Ohio through these above mills here. Looking at our 2017 Michigan wheat production, they've got our Michigan wheat sitting at 67% good to excellent. And our wheat plantings are down roughly 30% compared to last year from an acreage standpoint. And given a production standpoint, a lot of guys seen near record yields last year here in Michigan. It's going to be interesting to see what this wheat shakes out for 2017 here, but I'm going to guess that to be down a few bushels from last year. But just taking a look there from what we've had the past few years, I mean, you see 610,000. Back there, 2016, 500,000, 2015, and 570 in 2014. A few considerations why we have that wheat acreage is down this year. I mean, we had our later soybean harvest, pushing back that wheat planting date a few weeks for a few guys, as well as December temperatures above normal. You know, for good or bad, that kind of exposed a lot of that wheat for a longer period to cold temperatures with quick warm-ups. Couldn't really get that snow cover we were looking for. Obviously, the greatest portion here, I would say, is the price. That's kind of a touchy subject. Ever since the 2016 harvest, we kind of watched that price deteriorate going into the December month. So, gave us some challenges there while hitting the field, going into it with some later soybean harvest. So these counties here are our top producing wheat counties here in the state of Michigan, kind of the breadbasket of Michigan as you get through the Saginaw counties there up into the Thumb, and then down there near Toledo. So winter wheat production history, here we are. You see a nice chart to give us our overall production. You can see that's pushing us to one of our lower values there since 2006, and that's on an overall production value, both with the wheat acreage being down, using 85 for a trend line yield on that. You can see as the yield has been going through, let me see if I can get this pointer to work, going through how that's been a steady increase. It's going to be interesting to see where that wheat yield shakes out. Maybe you know, we can get a few guys to admit to what they're thinking they're estimating out in the field here throughout the state of Michigan. But that 85, I think that's a little high. So we'll have to see where that shakes out here in a couple more months. I'm sorry, did you see that? So we could be below that. We could be below that 34,000 production number. So red wheat versus white wheat, we grow both here in Michigan. Red wheat it definitely dominates more of the acreage, as white wheat is kind of been slowly on an uptick there in the last year. That typically has been warranting a premium for the increased acreage. There's just the Michigan all wheat yield. As you can see that's sticking the trend line essentially there for 2017. Now, understanding the basis and basis trends here in Michigan. So simple basis, you take your CBOT price minus the cash value, that gives you your basis value. Attached here is just the average king and napping milling basis for on July 1st for the past few years. So we've got the soft red wheat there in the orange and red, and the soft white in the more gray color. So if you look across here, you see the difference in the basis values. And the green chart is the spread between red and white wheat basis. So that kind of pushes to show the added value in the white wheat, which also comes along with some challenges, which I'm sure you guys are aware of if you're here at the Michigan Wheat Growers. So getting to more of a nationwide production, 50% good to excellent rating compared to 61% this time last year. So on a nationwide basis, our wheat crop is struggling compared to what we were looking at last year. 17% harvested nationwide compared to 15% on average. That's a 5-year average. They're coming up through Texas right now. That's getting up in the 90 percentile on wheat harvest, getting into Kansas in the probably about at the teens at this point. So they're coming up through. It's going to be interesting to see what those yields do shake out. We've caught a nice bump there in the wheat market the past week, off some weather issues that they're having out west, more so in the spring wheat on the Minneapolis exchange. So we're watching that. And the spring wheat having the worst rating in 29 years, according to USDA. So we'll have to see how that shakes out. But a lot of unknowns here going from this point forward. Talk of abandonment on a lot of acreage. We'll have to see if they do pick those acres or not. But funds are short 134,000 contracts. That has been dwindling as this market's been rising. Funds pulling out a few of their short values as guys have been met with a little bit of harvest selling, and basis generally improving on that. So here's a chart attached of kind of a continuous curve of the Chicago board wheat. As you can see, it goes back there to 2014, shaking back into these values here. Right here, 2015, 2016, and then that's kind of the drop we've been seeing kind of throughout there, and then steadily increasing here coming into the 2017 very slowly. Here's just a few technicals on the July 17 wheat. Got your Fibonacci retracement values there. You can see how we bounced off that 415 3/4 down there at that value back there in April. We're currently, this is actually from Monday, I believe that 12th, yeah, that would have been Monday there. Board was down. Kind of a slower day after given the wheat movement that we had the prior week. So with the board down, I was able to put these charts together. But we have since climbed a few points beyond where these values were on Monday. But you can see I believe that is the, what is that, Ken? Is that the 100-day moving average?
I can't read your left side.
Yeah, it's a little too small for me to read as well, but breaking through those values there. Here we're kind of touching on another point. We're looking at July 18 wheat here. Guys are always wondering how can we add some value to our wheat crop? How can we get some of these values that we're hearing at the coffee shop? One of the scenarios here is looking at capturing the carry that the market is offering. Today, a guy could go out there and cover right there in the ballpark of a 515 July HTA. Again, this is from Monday, but they're about 515 hedge to arrive for July 18. And if you're not familiar with how the hedge to arrive system works, give us a shout, or any of your other merchandisers. But covering the futures there and then sitting back on your basis, it seems to let a guy know what his quality is, as well as protect those futures. So a few challenges going forward here in the wheat market. How does the industry successfully serve differing producer and processor needs? How does the industry promote white wheat year after year given production risks? There's increased use for silage, as we're probably seeing from a few neighboring dairies, and lost acres to triticale. This is kind of a new one to me. I was talking with a dairy customer and planting all his wheat acreage to triticale this year, or the prior year. Chopping it, I guess it's a wheat rye hybrid. I have a little bit more to learn about that, and a few of the agronomists here might be able to touch on that in a little more detail. So, serving the producer. Essentially, we're looking here to meet our milling quality standards. That's why we come through. That's why we try to grow high quality wheat. That's why we put the fungicide on. That's try to control our vomitoxin and try to control our sprouting and falling numbers. These guys can touch on these values here, or the reasons we're seeing these issues in the wheat, probably at a little bit later presentation or out in the field, but we've got just some best production practices. I mean, it all goes back to producing high quality wheat. It's spending the dollars. It's getting the coverage on the fungicide. It's doing everything right to know that you're bringing a high quality product that's going to reserve a premium. As a lot of you guys see, I mean, the milling quality premium is obviously the higher value. And to get that value, you do need to put your money into the wheat to protect that. I'll be around all day if there's anything that jumps out at anybody or want to go in depth with anything going forward.